All right. So we're going to talk tonight about how to become an amazing mentor and retention. Because we don't want to just sign people who are going to quit right away, right? So remember that a big part of being a mentor is helping other people grow and reach their full potential. And it's one of the things that I truly love about being a teacher in general, and I think it's what keeps me from just running away from public education as quick as possible. If this wasn't there when working with kids, I wouldn't have made it and still be teaching 25 years later, right? It truly is rewarding when you see how you've helped somebody and you see how much they grow, right? I'm sure people, no matter where you are in this journey, you can look back to where you were when you started and you're not the same. And somebody caused that, right? You did a lot of the work on your own, but you didn't do it completely alone, right? So I have a short little video here about some things that evolution does because I think it's really important if you're bringing people into this opportunity, into this family, that you understand a little bit more about the philosophies and the thoughts and those kinds of things. Let me know if you can hear my volume when I press play.
No volume, Tasha.
That was an amazing place to be at an amazing time.
You can't hear it or you can?
Now it came.
Okay.
We are evolving the travel industry.
Evolution Travel has allowed me to work part-time and live full-time.
Evolution Travel is different from most programs like this that are in the marketplace simply because we actually give the average person a chance to win.
I love the culture that we have at Evolution. The leadership is phenomenal and so is the support. We definitely have a lot of fun. We travel to so many different places.
We movement, baby. That's what it's all about.
We are truly a we movement, a family movement. We really put our people over the profits. I find it exciting that it is such a large group of people that are so personally connected in this business, and they're so excited about helping each other grow.
We have the ability to reach out to those that are high ranks in the company, and they are there for us to support. They absolutely care for the people.
I never thought I'd be able to get paid every time someone takes a vacation. It doesn't feel like work. You know, being a travel agent, we sell resets. This is something that people want to buy. And we're selling them their dreams of going somewhere like St. Thomas that we're at right now.
Wow. I'm looking around and I'm in St. Thomas.
I mean, where can you work on a beautiful island such as this as St. Thomas? Okay, this is work. I would work every single day of my life.
It's great to travel the world and it's great to make money, but it's awesome to make money and travel with your family and friends.
I not only get to sell the product, I get to live it and be it. That's the most exciting thing in the world.
Now, that is an older video because as I looked and I saw Founder, I was like, oh, he looks so young, right? But the thought process and the philosophy hasn't changed. You heard multiple times them saying it's a we movement. And that is truly what our founder, David McCovey, believes in. He honestly says people over profit, and he means it. He truly cares about people. And once you go to any corporate event and you meet him, he will remember you. And not only will he remember you, but he'll remember something about you. He has an incredible thought process and meeting with people, and he truly cares about everybody who gets involved in evolution. All right. Now, he has done many different things. You know, he's been a lifelong entrepreneur, right? He's done clothing stores, restaurants. He's got an independent concert company in Las Vegas. He's done a Hollywood, invested in a film. born and raised in Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada, and this made sense for him. He's done other network marketing things, but really, his mom is his encouragement for these things with a persistence from his mom, you know, time freedom that traditional businesses didn't allow him to do. That's what got him involved in network marketing. And he was a member of many companies and he quickly rose to the top of them, but he wasn't able to help people in the way he wanted, or he wasn't agreeing with their philosophies enough. And, that's what caused him to come out and found his own and find that's what made him create Evolution Travel, right? Because he wants everyday people for this to change their lives. And if you're not going to convention this year, you want to make sure you're there next year. Because when you get in the room and hear how this has changed people's lives, I do think it makes a difference in how you think about this opportunity. We've got people who started this when they were homeless and used every last dollar to get started, and they are top leaders in our company now, making money they didn't think was possible and have changed their lives. We've got people who have been in situations where they lost a job or they left corporate America and they're far surpassing what they did. And it's really important that you believe as a mentor in what this opportunity can do for people so that you can help other people see that vision. All right. Even if it hasn't happened to you yet, am I where I want to be with my goals and things? No. But am I where I was 3 years ago when I started this business? Not even close. Right. And that type of things. He truly also has been known to say, maximize your strengths, surround yourself with people who mask your weaknesses that help you through those things. You'll also hear him say, if you want to be a millionaire, sit at a table with a millionaire. Like I've sat down, I've had dinner sitting at the same table with this man. And you know what? Tasha just sat there and listened to all these people, right? What they were saying. And if you've ever been on a founder's call, he'll really say, the top leaders in our business, they are down to earth, humble people, and they're doing the grunt work when it comes to events and those things too, because nobody thinks they're like better than anybody, right? Now, once you've got somebody who signs up, it is crucial that we onboard them correctly, properly, because we don't want people confused. We don't want people, you know, so overwhelmed and not knowing what they're doing that they go, forget this, right? So remember, just like we have scripts for closing a client or closing a prospect, getting somebody into a presentation meeting, we have scripts for enrolling agents. Send them that sign up script with the enrollment links. Please make sure when somebody texts you and says they've signed up that you confirm that in your back office. Most of the time, you will get an email. There are times that I do not get an email saying, congratulations, you signed an agent, but I did sign someone. All right. That does sometimes happen, and it's a glitch in the system. I have found that sometimes when that happens, it also means that it didn't initiate the welcome email from Evolution to the new agent. Okay. So you just always confirm in the back office because somebody could say, yeah, I'm all signed up, and they're not. They filled everything out and didn't click to pay, and they think they're all signed up. So just confirm that. Okay. Or potentially they were talking to two different agents and they got two different links and they didn't use yours. That's happened to me before too. Sometimes people are invited to meetings by more than one Archer agent, right? Once you've and that really stinks when that happens. Once you've confirmed that they've signed up in the back office, send them your welcome text number one. I have two with the Start Me link. Remember, you're going to your gold or platinum for that Start Me so that you have it. All right. Some of us have our own. You do want to check in with your new agent within their first 24 hours. Now, do I have agents who send me their picture of their certificate with before that 24 hours? I absolutely do. So at that point, I consider that my check-in already. Once they send you the picture of their certificate, because that initial text says, welcome, here's where you get started, here's the getting started guide. Please let me know when you've completed your certificate and send me a screenshot. We send that second text because here's what happens. In the back office, they do the videos and then they try to start doing the things that the evolution videos told them to do instead of coming back to our Start Me guide. So we want to always be redirecting them, and then they get confused. Always be redirecting to the Start Me so that they can continue working through their steps. Okay? We also want to be offering a one-on-one to our new agents. If you've never done a one-on-one before, connect with your gold or platinum to do your first one so that they can model it for you. Okay? I did recently make, a guide for that with a new agent, and we can share that with you this evening as well. It's sort of a checklist, but more of a talking through how you would do it, similar to talking about how we do a qualification for a new client for a trip, right? We want to start strong with building a relationship with our new agents, which is why we say, yeah, do the first one so your gold or platinum can model it. But after that, really, we want it to be you so that you're the one building the relationship. Okay? So that you're the one building the relationship. We want them to know that you're their first point of contact. Okay? We want them to know you're the first point of contact. You should have your welcome text from your gold or platinums already. All right. If we don't have them, we'll make sure people, who to reach out to make sure you have them. Okay. We did this, a while back. I did a spreadsheet of here's the check off of things to do, and we'll pull that back up tonight too. Because a lot of this is on there. Like, hey, they sent me their certificate. I set up a one-on-one, right? So that we know I'm following these steps to onboard them. Okay. Now, as far as besides guiding them to this getting started, right? There's going to be other stuff along the way. It's really important that you listen to what they're saying and you ask the right questions. Sometimes what people are saying is not what they really mean. I'm just confused. I don't know what to do. All right, where are you on this getting started guide? And honestly, a lot of that can be solved in that initial one-on-one. Some people, a lot of people do that as a phone call. I prefer to do it as a Zoom so that I can share my screen so that when they're confused about something, I can walk them through the Start Me. I could show them where to find everything and that kind of a thing. I also think it's helpful to people to see my face and feel like they're having a conversation sitting at a coffee shop instead of across the world from me, right? Because sometimes people's fears are, how is somebody going to be able to help me when I'm never going to meet them? Right? Don't just listen to respond. Listen to actually understand what they're telling you, especially when it's concerns in that. And we're gonna do a whole discussion about that. Amy's gonna lead that near the end of our training tonight. But we need to lead by example. Remember, we can't ask people to do things that we're not willing to do ourselves. Right? I'm 3 years in. I absolutely still attend trainings. We should be posting our travel ads. It could be really helpful if you take screenshots of what you're posting or the way that you're responding to comments or posts, how you're commenting on it to show the people that you're mentoring. All right. Hey, here's a comment I found. Here's how I responded. Because sometimes people are, overwhelmed with the thought of coming up with that. Be active in our chats, right? Answer things. If people are asking questions on the Facebook pages and you can be helpful. Now, not, hey, I'm just going to make up an answer so I can, no. If you're not 100% sure of what you're putting, don't respond, right? Now, the next two really are once you reach a level of silver or above, volunteering to teach trainings. Once you're a silver or above, people can be teaching trainings. And then past that, you know, being a presenter might be something you're interested in. Getting in front of people once you're getting to silver or above is showing your mentees your leadership skills and they're putting more faith in you, more confidence in, hey, that's my mentor running the training, right? This last one, how can we expect people to ask for help if we don't ask for help ourselves? Think about that. No one is above asking for help. Everybody asks for help when they need it or should, because there are people who can help you, right? It's okay to ask for help. Asking for help is a sign of strength because it shows that you care enough to find out what you need to know if you're not 100% sure, right? Don't forget to celebrate people's wins. If you have an agent who lets you know that they made a booking, make sure your gold or platinum knows so that we can do a booking shout out. I don't care if that booking is $100 and it's their first booking. Little wins are still wins. That's still their first professional booking as a travel agent, right? Hey, I want to say great job to Sammy, who I see all of their mock bookings postings popping up on my feed. I see them putting the work in. I, s- I want to tell you, I saw that your post showed up. I saw you made a comment and I saw your great comment. I did like it so it gets more engagement. I'm so proud of you for making that comment, right? Let people know. I've often heard, and anyone who's ever, heard founder talk, he says a lot of people have never been publicly recognized since they graduated high school. Not publicly praised at work, not publicly, recognized for an achievement. We kind of stopped doing that for people, right? In our society. You know how good it feels for somebody to be like, I'm so proud of you for doing this. Hey, I know you were really nervous about announcing your business, and I saw you finally made that announcement on your Facebook page. I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to see how your business grows. Right? Let people know that you see what they're doing as their mentor. Right? Make sure you know your resources. You don't have to know everything to be a mentor, but you have to know where to send people. You have to know how to find the information. You should be familiar with the Start Me that your agents are following. We update them as needed with new information. Check them out. Please look at them so you know what's on it. So when somebody's like, well, I'm on this step, but I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do, you know what they're referring to. Or you know where to go look. So you could be like, oh, okay, this is what they're doing. the Facebook group, any chats you have where people can get resources and answers. Know who your leaders are that you can reach out to. Does everyone here know who their gold is? Everyone here, obviously, Amy is your platinum. But does everyone know who their gold is? Right? That's important to know. This last one, get to know each other's strengths. If I have an agent who asks me how to help them with something that I don't book that kind of travel, I'm going to look for who I can turn to ask them to help my agent, right? I'm not the person to come to if you need to organize a chartered bus trip. I'm going to send you to Amy. She does them all the time. As much as I would love to be in group travel, I've never made a big group booking. Now, you got a question about Disney World? I can give you everything, probably more than you want, right? I know a lot about cruises. I know how to accommodate food allergies and how to book for people with food allergies. Michaela's great at multi-destination trips in Europe. She's also does a lot of honeymoons or around destination weddings. She's in that industry. Lynette is great at helping your agents understand and use their affiliate links. She's also really great at information for cruises, right? Start knowing or asking somebody, hey, who do I ask about this? Right? Now, a lot of us can help you with everything, but if it's something specialized like that, we're probably going to, direct you to somebody else if it's not something we specialize in. Right? Perfect example. Amy asked me questions the other day about a destination that she doesn't book a lot of people to, but she knows I've booked a lot of people to all inclusives in the destination. And she asked me recommendations of where my clients have gone and what they liked. She has way more experience than me. But that doesn't matter. Everyone's willing to help everybody. And that's your biggest resource right there. Lean on each other. Now, does that mean ask somebody to do something for you that you probably can do yourself as a mentor? No. Right? And you might get pushback from your own mentor or leader and say, I think you're ready to do that on your own. We've done it together. Why don't you try it and come back to me if you need more resources or more help? Because you can do that. And sometimes it's pushing yourself to know you can, right? Like, why isn't my page going? And that's where we want to talk about the mindsets we need to be a great mentor and a team builder. There needs to be, for a lot of us, a shift and a mental toughness and working with, I want to make sure I'm helping as much as possible. And when we shift our mindset and rethink things, that new mindset's going to result in new and improved results. You ever heard the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results? Same thing here. And it doesn't mean you are doing something wrong. It doesn't mean that, you weren't good at this. It means that it's always working on growing yourself and evolving, right? There's a really, it's a popular movement that's been going on for a while, though, in education of growth mindset. We really try to teach our students things like using the word yet after things, Y-E-T, yet. I don't know how to do that yet. It gives the hope of, and the thought process of, I might not know the skills right now, but I will, right? I don't feel like I'm a good mentor yet. I feel like I'm a pretty good mentor, but I'm not a great mentor yet. See how that shifts, right? No one expects you to be a great mentor from day one. We expect you to listen and try your best and let us coach you. Just like you need to learn how to book travel and do those things, you need to learn how to mentor and be coachable in this side too. So let's talk about like the key things we need to know. Super important. As mentors, our role isn't to manage our mentees or our agents. It's to motivate, guide, and support. The guide is easy. Know your resources and where to send people. The support is being there, right? My schedule is very busy. I'm a full-time teacher. I'm a caregiver to my elderly parents. And I work both sides of the business. I like to tell people I work my business part-time, but that is the biggest lie I tell myself. I work my business full-time in addition to a full-time teaching job. Do I always have time? Realistically, is there always the space in my schedule for the calls that need to happen? No, but I make them happen, right? Sometimes we have to look at what am I prioritizing? What can I do while multitasking to make this happen? Right? There's times, and a lot of us as mentors, we're wearing earbuds while we're walking around our house on a phone call. So I can, be putting the laundry in. I can be picking things up. I can be, you know, if I were a mom, bringing a snack to my kid while I'm having that phone call. Right? Michaela's 3-year-old, it is unfortunately dependent on car naps, right? She only falls asleep driving. Michaela does the majority of her phone calls during that time because her talking doesn't wake up the child. She does a lot of phone calls and a lot of agent calls while she's driving around to get her little one to sleep, right? The motivation sometimes feels hard for new mentors, especially if you're a newer agent and you feel like maybe you're not seeing the results that you should be. And if that's where you're at, we may need to rethink, am I actually doing all those things that I tell my agents to do, to build, right? But we do have to motivate people. We do have to help people believe they can do this and in the power of this opportunity. That's why I said it's important to know the vision and important to know what it's done for other people. Remember, though, everyone is a 1099 agent. You're an independent contractor. You are a business owner. No one here is your boss. We're here to help and support you and give you tough love when we need to give you tough love and constructive criticism. But it's your job to take that, right? But the right mindset for you helps to ensure that we're fostering the growth with our agents without overstepping boundaries. I hear from a lot of people, well, I keep messaging them and they never respond. Put that responsibility on them. You've offered the help. It's their responsibility to take it. Unfortunately, we can't make it work for everyone because some people are never going to help themselves. And sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow. But some people were never going to make this business work no matter what we did. But it's our job to make sure we did everything possible to help shift their mindset and help them grow. So let's talk about the mindset shifts. That was a tongue twister for being a mentor, right? First, we're going to coach, not control. We're not their boss. We lead by example, which we talked about. We offer tools. You can also be a sounding board. Anyone who's been in this business for a while would probably be lying if they said they haven't been on a phone call with their mentor in tears. I have. Sometimes Michaela and I crying together, right? Being a business owner is not all roses, right? It's it can be mentally draining and it's hard. And people need that ability to vent to you, to express their frustrations, and for you just to listen and then be like, okay, I'm hearing what you're saying. Let's work through this, right? We want to inspire autonomy. Remember, autonomy is people being able to do on their own. We're working on teaching them how to think through something, not what to do. So when someone asks a question like, what's the agency IATA number? Don't give them the number. Tell them how to find it. Because if you don't teach someone how to find it, they're always going to come to you every time they need it. Right? We want to make sure we're not doing for people. We're teaching them how to do it themselves. Right? This empowers people to take ownership over their own business. Okay? So instead of just sending someone a YouTube video, right? Hey, go on the Facebook page and look under the guides in this topic and you can find some videos on this. Right? Teach people to be independent thinkers while still getting your help. The goal is for them to not always need you. Right? We talked about the celebrate progress, not just results. Acknowledging those small wins helps to build confidence. So meaning, hey, I see all the great posts you're making. You had your first consult call. I know it didn't go the way you wanted, but you did that call. And from what you told me, you didn't do anything wrong. That client just wasn't ready to book, right? Check in with them when they're working on that quote. Show me what you've done so far. Oh, I love how you found this. I love that this is what you listened to. People need to learn the process. And if we celebrate their steps along the way, they're learning that. This is really important. When I talked about leading by example, stay in learning mode. We often call that phase 1. Doing the things you did as a brand new agent and continuing to do them. Great mentors are also great students. You often hear teachers need to be lifelong learners. So what worked for me 2 years ago might not work for me now. So I need to be open to new ideas, and I need to be open when someone wants to give me feedback. Feedback does not mean, I think you're doing a horrible job, you need to stop. No, feedback means I care about your success so much that I'm willing to have a tough conversation with you. Or I'm willing to criticize something you're doing to make it better. Do you think that's fun from this side for me? No, I don't like that because I'm afraid I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And that's never my intention. Anytime I give any kind of feedback, constructive criticism, it's coming from a place of care and wanting to help you grow. Now, you're going to find leaders in this business that are more direct and what might feel harsher than others. Some people are more just cut and dry and they don't do it with as much empathy as they should. Some people are overly empathetic and maybe need to be a little bit more firm with what they're saying, right? But know that anyone in this business who's giving you a correction, it's because they care and they want you to improve. All right. Where'd my mouse go? There we go. All right. Lead with abundance, right? There's enough success to go around. We don't need to be competitive. Share freely your knowledge. Let them see what you're working on. Hey, I'm working on a quote. Would you like to see how I work through this process? Encourage collaboration. All right. That's why, we'll post our mock bookings for people to use. We'll show you how we're doing things so that you know how to do it too. Okay? Now, it's a different mindset when we're talking retention. One of the things that makes Archer and Evolution so special is that we don't just bring people in and let them fend for themselves. We actually help them. So you know how founder says people over profits, relationships over revenue. Please don't see the people you bring in just as, oh, one more person towards my next rank so I get a bigger monthly paycheck. Oh, more people signing. Let me encourage that bundle, even if that's not what they want to do, because now I'm getting $50. No, encourage the bundle because they want to use those travel perks, right? If it's somebody that says to me, there's no way I could use those travel perks in the next year, I'm going to tell them, hey, they're going to expire before you could use them. You might not want to do the bundle, right? Because there's an expiration date. Long-term retention isn't about locking people in and making them feel stuck. It's about creating a space they want to stay in, bringing them into our family. All right, so here are our pillars of retention with focused mindset, right? Build that community, not competition. Help agents feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves, because they are. And if you're not somebody who hops on founders calls, start hopping on founders call. I think it's next Wednesday night. It's this Wednesday, the 7th. It's always at 6:30 p.m. PST. So for me in the East Coast, it's 9:30 p.m. Is it 30? Yeah, it's on the half hour. Check your back office. It's always within that first week and a half of the month. See the bigger picture if you haven't seen it yet. Offer purpose, not pressure, right? Connect their why to their work. When somebody gets overwhelmed and stressed and feels like giving up, remind them why they started, or ask them to tell you why they started. Hopefully, you should know this from that initial one-on-one call. But you know what? Especially if you start building a big team, you might not remember. But make them, state it again, too. Oh, I did this because I don't want to miss my kids' activities anymore. I did this because I need to get out of my job that's draining my mental health. Connect their why to the work and effort they're putting in. Help them see that this business serves their personal goals. I can't afford the monthly fee. That's exactly why you need this. Let's help you get to a place that you're no longer worrying about that. I really want to do this. All right, let's get you building enough to cover that monthly investment. Why are we doing the work we're doing and how it relates to your goals? Show consistent support. A regular check-in, an encouraging message, or a team shout out can go a long way, right? You got to be their biggest fan. And then we've talked about all this already. Recognize their effort, not just for their sales numbers, but make people feel seen and valued, because they are valued. Everybody has something they can contribute. My watch is talking to me. Everybody has something they can contribute. And they may not realize that because maybe they've never been in a situation where somebody made them feel that way. Let's help them. Create a culture of growth. Because when people feel like they're growing, they stay engaged and they want to continue. Right? If somebody feels like they're not growing, they're stuck, they're this, it's easy to get discouraged. Remind them that little steps are bigger than they think. Right? Somebody who's not feeling, comfortable posting on social media and now they've started posting more on social media. That's huge growth for them. may look like tiny growth. They may feel like it's tiny growth. Help them recognize, I see that that was a huge step for you out of your comfort zone, right? People don't always see the growth in themselves. Sometimes it's easier for people looking in to see it. Let them know, right? All right, I'm going to turn this over to Amy in a second because we're going to talk about those common new agent concerns and overcoming their excuses and our own excuses. All right, Amy.
All right.
Oh,
So can you hear me? Okay, perfect. All right, guys. So first thing I want to say is every single person has excuses. I don't care who you are, at some point in your life, you find an excuse, right? Whether it's you're tired or you're burnout or whatever, you come up with an excuse to not do something. In this business, as leaders, we can't give excuses because if we go to give excuses, then you guys are going to give excuses, right? So we try to hold you to the mindset of there are no excuses. I cannot tell you how many agents I've got on with. And I'm like, don't give me that mess. Like, no, it doesn't work. Like, I'm going to be, and typically I have to tell the ones that I get on with, look, it's not personal as far as what I see you doing. It's personal to me because I know what this business can do to you, for you, right? It can be such a blessing to anybody that works it. And if you truly put in it what you want to get out of it, it will happen. But you've got to get rid of those excuses. So the first thing I want to tell you guys is I don't do excuses when somebody says, well, I've got to do this today. I've got to do that today. I have a list a mile long and usually 4 kids tugging at my pants. So no excuses. I do my business. I talk to my clients. I help my agents. I don't care who's screaming in the background. Like the kids aren't dying. They're fine. They're good. I'm gonna do what I need to do to help people. So it's the same mindset you've got to have. I don't care if you've got to take your child to the doctor, right? That's important. Or going to your child's school for um for a program. I 100%. I'm going to be there for my kids. But what I'm going to find is I drive from my house to that location. So my phone works. I don't have to be on a Zoom. I can literally put a little bit of time in and make every single agent feel valued. If you call me, I typically pick up the phone, or if you text me, I text back. Even if I'm in a spot where I can't get on the phone right then, like I'm going to tell you, like I'm in a meeting or whatever, but what questions do you have? I can text. Like at the end of the day, agents, prospects, however you want to look at it, they go from prospect to agent. But either way, number one, prospects to me are important. Um, I try not to put them on a back burner unless absolutely necessary. The other thing that I do when you guys become agents is I don't want to put you on the back burner. I don't want to hold you up. Um, that is, I want to make sure I get you what you need. Hey, email me what you got. Let me look at it while I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Like, I'm going to help you. And that's the way every single one of you should be thinking about your prospect rather and your new agent. If it's agent 1 or agent 10, I don't care. They all come in the same way. They're all serviced the same way. And we want to make sure that they're all taken care of the same way. You have to remember, Tasha, whoever, me, whoever, we try not to put you guys off. You don't want to put your people off because if you put them off, and I will tell you 100%, I can send reinstatement emails out And I hear all the time, well, I didn't get any support. I didn't get any help. I cannot tell you how many agents I've brought back to this business, and they come to me for help every time. And it shouldn't be that way. They should have support from the person that brought them in. I don't get paid to support your agent, right? You get that direct pay. I don't get 10% when I'm helping your agents book travel. Okay. So you've got to remember in that mindset, like, I need to take care of these people because if they're booking, I'm making money. Okay. And you are making money. I have agents that are booking millions of dollars in travel in a year. So when those agents call me, I pick up the phone. If I have an agent that's booked $100 in a year, when they call me, I pick up the phone. I don't care. And if I have an agent that I don't make a dime from, that's fine too. I don't care. The whole purpose behind it is customer service. If you go into a business and you want to be serviced, right? You want to go get your nails done. You leave the nail place, your nail breaks. You get mad, right? You're going back. Well, these agents don't always get mad and come back. And you could lose them. And I've seen them go out, be gone a year, and come back and say, I don't want to sign back under my previous mentor. If I have to sign under my previous mentor, I'm just not going to do it. I've seen that before. That's not fair. Sometimes the previous mentor is gone, which that makes it easy. But if it's a previous mentor on my team and that mentor is active, then I suck it up and become this person's mentor, even though they're under the other person, because that's ethics within the company, right? So I suck it up, help them. They don't have to talk to the person that brought them in the business. I don't want you to be that person. I don't want you to be a person that isn't there to help them because it's so important to build that relationship. I cannot tell you how many times they'll call, hey, Kathy won't help me book. I have a trip coming up and I need to book it, but Kathy's not available. Well, okay, I'll be glad to help. Let me figure out what's going on. Well, if Kathy's on vacation, that is totally one thing. But if Kathy's not on vacation, you found time to recruit her, you need to find time to help her. Like, no, I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I expect, Tasha expects, all of us expect as leaders for you guys to help, right? If you're going to bring people on, you've got to help them. Now, if you work a job, Tasha works a job. She'll text me and say, hey, so and so needs X, Y, and Z. Can you help them? Like, yes, if she's at work, I will. Because at the end of the day, she has to work too. I understand. And I'm not opposed to helping somebody, but you also got to help your people. It's a very important. So, new agent concerns when it comes down to them following directions, getting put in the right position. It's simple things like getting signed in with the TK website, getting signed in with the TK Facebook page, encouraging those agents to make sure you answer those questions because I check the Facebook one every single day. If my name or any leader with under me as a gold, if their name pops up, I automatically approve that person. So teaching your agents that you can get them done so much quicker if they make sure they know who their platinum is, who their gold is, what their agent ID is. You know, those little things, it gets them in the system so much quicker, right? That's just little bitty things. And I've heard agents say, I've been waiting a week on the Facebook group, or I've been waiting a week on the website. Chances are those agents didn't go back and check their email, because they do get messages from us when they don't fill out any information. And for some reason, they put in something wrong and we cannot verify them. I have it happen all the time. I can't look them up under agent IDs or last names. Maybe they put their name in, they misspelled something. It's just crazy little stuff, right? We can make this process run way faster if you guys are communicating with them. And that is not just a new agent concern, it's a leadership concern. That level of communication, I don't care if you've been in the business 2 days or 10 years. Like, you can figure out how to talk to an agent and build a relationship. It might be about, hey, what do you do for your 9 to 5? Or, finding a little bit about their family and their background and why they want to do this business. It's not about you having to get on the very first call with them and say, okay, I need to get on a Zoom with you. I need to show you how to go to the back office and log into this and log into that. That's not necessarily it. A phone call works. It does work. I love Tasha does hers with one-on-ones and gets on Zoom and shows them a lot of things, but I don't have time to get on Zoom every day, but I get on the phone. And so I can do anything and talk with a new agent at any given time while I'm functioning throughout my day, whether I'm changing a diaper or, feeding the kids or whatever, it doesn't matter. I can get on the phone and do that little simple 10-15 minute call, figure out what they want out of the business. That's a very big thing. And a lot of times I feel like that's one of the biggest problems is you don't build relationships. You guys aren't building that relationship, and that relationship is so huge. Like, I mean, I have went to convention, never met Sarah, never met Krista, never met a bunch of agents, and I've roomed with some of them in convention, and never even met them before. Show up and I'm rooming with them, right? So the relationship we build here is tight, and I want to make sure that you're starting your team the same, tight. And that is making sure you go through that. Now, they have excuses. So I'm going to tell you guys, if you are struggling with time management, I sent an agent to do a time management thing for me. I had her go in and I actually had her take a day of a calendar that was time stamped. And with that timestamp day, I had her go right on in and every minute of her day this past weekend, every minute of Saturday, I said, I want you to tell me exactly what you do. And I said, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I want to know when you pee. Like, I literally want to know everything you do today. So she gave me her whole list. And at the end of the day, I noticed when I looked at her whole previous day on Sunday, I noticed that she spent 2 separate hours plus working on the same US based trip that really wasn't that in depth. And I'm like, no, you've spent all this time, you broke it up. She's not completing a task. Okay. She's doing a little bit on it and she's going and doing 5, 6, 7, 8 things. And she's coming back and trying to complete the task. That doesn't work for me. You need to complete the task, right? That's wasting time. Not to mention, it was a basic trip and she should have been able to pull it all together in that 1 hour and 15 minutes that she spent in the beginning. So that told me something. So today I had a phone conversation with her and I'm like, look, I kid you not. Like you're wasting a lot of time. Like, I mean, you're on the phone a lot, but you're on the phone with stuff that doesn't pertain to business. You're doing this, you're doing that. Great. Hey, you got to have time to do other things too. I do not disagree with that. But if you would complete one task and start another one, if you would do that, you would find your day ran so much smoother instead of, oh, I'm over here working on this trip. Well, then I go help this other person work on their trip. Well, then I go back to this trip. No, you have to complete your chore. And the excuses, oh, well, so and so call me. No, you are in control. How many of you guys feel like you're in control of your life every day? Do you really feel like you're in control? A lot of people don't. They don't feel like they have control. And you've got to sit back and say, okay, I'm talking and going to lunch with X, Y, and Z, but is X, Y, and Z paying your bills? No, I need to pay my bills today, so I need to work. There's a priority situation there. And once I made her realize, once and I have to sometimes get to the point that it's like a come to Jesus. And she's like, you're right. You're exactly right. This is what I should be doing. I should have done it this way. I don't want you to tell me I'm right. I want you to apply it. So that's one of the biggest things. So I don't care what you have going on in your daily life. You can find time to work this business. You can find time to talk to people. It is not hard. And don't use kids as an excuse for me. Don't, just don't. It doesn't work out. So, I mean, I have at least three or four in my house every single day from the age of 3 and below at a time. So I do not take excuses well with kids because I can have one on my hip and two laying down for a nap. Like I prioritize. Had to encourage one of my agents to create a social media. When I even had to say how. Yes, fatherhood and a regular job is motherhood. I sent him these 2 to 3 messages a week asking how he's doing and how his onboarding steps are coming along. Message simple, just saying, just checking in and how are you doing? Yes. So I do that all the time. Like the agent this morning, like I texted her and said, hey, I didn't get an update yesterday. Oh, what's going on? And she immediately started, well, I did X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, okay, great. You know, I sometimes have to make people understand where you have that time gap. It could be like Tasha said, she doesn't listen to her radio in the car. Most of the time, she's talking to me in the morning on the way to work because I'm the one up. We're up talking, we're working on business, we're looking at what we're going to do for the day, we're trying to figure out all the things, right? So, with that being said, we find time for those things. That's at 7 o'clock in the morning, between 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning. When I get up between 6 and 6:30, I've already run down, I've already done my prospects for the day. I've sent any emails, I've responded to any ads that anybody's commented on. I've done all of that stuff before 7 a.m. That's my typical morning. And typically, I've already done a quote, if not two, because I get up early and I work best when it's quiet. And so that's my time is quiet. And that's a big thing for me. So I try to make time and utilize that. Um, I've been on the phone many a times and hey, you're going to the bathroom with me. You're doing this with me. Hey, my hands are in the sink. I can't text, but I can talk. There's just so many different things. I don't let it become an excuse as to why I can't get on the phone with somebody. So I feel it's really important that you remember you have to overcome their excuses so you can't have excuses. Does that make sense? We have to be better. We can't preach not having excuses if we've got excuses. I asked what was holding me back, and she said, the payment. Okay, That's a good answer, Kathy. Are you talking to somebody from the presentation? Um, Need a little more. Fill me in. All right, so let's do this. What was that? So if Kathy, if you're talking about a problem, Tasha, did you give her the script? Or are you giving her words?
I didn't click on, I didn't click on mute. Yeah, Kathy, you have scripts. I could send them to you again. Um, but in general, when we have people saying, they're most worried about the money, there's a couple ways to go. We can ask other than is she saying that she doesn't have the money? Is she saying she's concerned about the money? There's two
She said
different.
it was from this morning, Tasha.
So
Did
from
I
the
don't know if you've already combated it. That's what I'm trying to figure out
No,
because
I have not, that she hasn't texted.
okay, okay. So this is my thing. If the payment's what's holding her back, I think you need a little more understanding on what she means by that. I think I would try a phone call. And I say that because a lot of times people can be skeptical over just paying to work is their mindset. And that's not what they're doing. And the shift becomes when you really break it down and explain the business. And for me, there are people 100% that it's holding them back because they don't have the money, right? So then I go into talking about Evo Plus and how beneficial it can be. And, if they're a real go getter and they don't mind working, like there's ways we can work with this. And I transition into that type of conversation. I feel like it's important, excuse me, it's important to get to the bottom of that, but I don't want to lose them in the process. That's why I sometimes say a phone call might be better. And getting them on a three-way, or for me, it's not a three-way if I'm doing the call with my prospect. But for you guys, if you're not used to doing that and you can't combat it yet, you're not ready, then you need to do a three-way call. You need to get them on a call and let's talk about what's holding them back with the payment. Because if it truly is that they don't have the money right now, then a lot of times their mindset's, oh, it costs money, I don't have it, done. Their mindset's not, oh, what can I do to figure this piece out to make this happen for me? I see the value. I mean, I've had people go to pawn shops, I've had people do yard sales, I've had people go do DoorDash for a day or Instacart or whatever it is because they really wanted it that bad. So it's really truly, they'll ask their family, they do whatever. So it's really truly having to figure out where that person is.
And we can also suggest, I've had said to people too, like, what are some things that you spend money on in a week that you'd be willing
Starbucks,
to not do? Do you buy a coffee every day? Like you go Starbucks every day, that's at least $5 or more.
girl,
No,
double that.
I don't go to Starbucks, but
It's almost $10 for a cup of coffee.
what?
It's between $5 and $10 for a grande. I typically pay about $7 a cup. So if you think about that over time, that is a lot of money. Like I don't go there every day, thank God, because I'm not out and about. But if I did, like
If
that
someone
would be
goes every
crazy.
day, in 9 days, in 10 days, they've paid for their membership.
Pretty much. Even if it's lunch out.
Francis says, no, not the coffee. Yeah, but you can still have coffee. You just do it in a more
Have it at
cost-effective
home.
way.
Right.
And
Have it
Kathy,
at
I saw
home.
she put, but you're not experienced like Amy and I. That's why we would do it three-way, either with myself or with Amy. depending on
Absolutely.
what the timing is of when that person is available.
Right. And look, I'm none too much to do it with kids in the background. Like, I do it because I'm a real person. And that's something that's huge. I don't care. Who is it? Somebody does dog grooming. I don't care if your dogs are barking. Like, you're a real person. You need to show you're a real person. You're not a scammer. You work your business. You do your things. I don't want it to be silent. It just doesn't work out for me. I mean, I'll go outside and cars be going up down the road. I don't care. Like, I want them to know I'm a real person. My husband's talking in the background, TV's going in the background. I don't care. At the end of the day, they find that we're real people. And guess what? They don't have to overcome those things. If your kids are in the background, if you have kids, it's a really great eye opener to hear somebody else's kids making noise. Same with pets, same with people, family, whatever. Like, we run this business how we want to run it. And you want to make it to where you can do this business. It's kind of like teaching a baby to sleep when you're running the vacuum cleaner or you're watching TV. You don't want your kid to sleep in silence, right? You don't want your business to seem like you're in silence. I cannot stand to get on a call with a telemarketer or somebody, and every so often it just goes silent, right? No, I know you're in a call center and you're muting me out because you don't want me to hear what the person next to you say, right? I don't want them to feel that type of vibe. And I also want you guys to know that IntelliTravel does not support their agents. And we've gotten multiple agents from IntelliTravel that all we did was show them a little kindness and compassion and help with their bookings, and they're flourishing here. And that is because we built ourselves on helping our agents and being a family oriented company. So at the end of the day, we need to make sure we keep that going. Tasha, did I miss anything?
I don't think so. And Amy is a great person if the three-way call is to compare other agencies, if they're looking at multiple hosts.
Yes,
She is
absolutely. And if you find out which
phenomenal
one
at
it is,
closing it.
if you find out which host it is that we're comparing, that's really good because I will go do research if I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I sure did. I did help her, Kathy. Yes. And she's booking and she's working. And that's the key component. So I definitely just want to make sure, guys, excuses we can overcome, but I need you guys to overcome your own so you can help overcome your agents, because I know you get frustrated when somebody tells you they don't have time or they can't do something. Well, us as leaders feel the same way with more and more people telling us that. So please, let's overcome the excuses and make sure that we're setting the example that we want others to follow.
And if part of the excuse is I'm confused on what to do, if that's one of your excuses, stop letting it be an excuse and ask for help.
So I want to answer this with Kathy. Kathy, with travel knowledge, we typically don't do those. And I'm going to be honest why. Us platinums are typically the ones that would do those for the team. And at one point in time, we were onboarding hundreds a day. And it got to be where we could not keep up. And we don't want somebody to feel slighted. So we just don't typically do those. Like, we don't welcome them. It's more about you welcoming them with your phone call and welcome to the company, right? That's what's more important than shouting them out. Then I want to shout them out when they do that first booking. I want to shout them out. And I typically don't shout out first time bringing somebody on board, but we've kind of been doing that a little bit more lately, which is fine. But we hadn't been doing that. We shout out executive bronze, silver, gold, platinum, right? Evo 100, Evo 200, those things, IATAN, but we don't mind doing some of the other little stuff But the new agents, that can get tedious quick, especially if for some reason somebody's growing fast. So it's just easier that maybe we don't do that one as much, but everything else, like we want to celebrate, right? We want to, but the
Yeah.
biggest thing is you getting in front of your agent and welcoming them to the company.
And Kathy, the Facebook, they don't need an invite to the Facebook groups. The links are all on the Start Me's
Yep,
for them to join.
100%.
However, if you have somebody who has started building or is interested in building, we're getting them into building chats, right? Get them in
Right.
this chat for this group. If you're on my team, we have a team building chat. Get them in that chat, and you, as their mentor, can shout them out when they make that
Yep,
first one as well. All right.
right.
And right now, my team is small enough that I can be doing that because you are under me, Kathy, so that you are able to do. Um, so you don't need to do a picture with their certificate and with their photo and welcome. Where do you put that? That's what she was just talking about, Francis.
Yeah, we don't typically do those in TK. Every once in a while, you'll find some wild person that went and did one, but we typically just don't do them because it's too much. And the thought process is you're little now, but when you're not little anymore, it's going to get hard. And so that's why we don't typically do the welcome there. Your welcome is your phone call to the agent. Your welcome is welcoming them to the team and making sure that they know you're going to be inputted into the TK Facebook group and everything. And I'll tell you something else about those as well, guys. I found more times than one that the agent's not even in the group when I'm trying to shout out their first booking because they haven't done what they needed to do. So you also need to make sure that it's already gotten onto the group and things like that. So getting them in there for the welcome to the team is very hard. All right, Tasha, you pulling it up?
I am. So
It changed colors.
well, I change it every time.
It was purple when I was looking at it earlier.
You weren't looking at the right one.
Oh, that could be a problem.
This one doesn't have a specific week anymore. So at this point, we want to be continuing. Remember that stay in phase one, continuing our every day of the things we're doing, our weekly tasks to make sure that just because we're like, oh, I signed up one person or I've been doing this a while, I'm gonna slack a little bit. I'll be honest. I went on vacation, I slacked, and I've had a really rough week trying to get back. I need to use this checklist this week. We all have those periods of time, right? But this is now one that you could do every week. It has the same things unless we start teaching something new and adding something else. All right. So this one, you can use this checklist every single week now. It's not a specific week one. All right. I know we've had people who've told us they like the accountability of the checklist, right? They like to be able to check off that they're doing these things. Stop sharing.
All right.
Oh, there's way more people than I knew.
Ah,
I've been able to see the participants since I started sharing my.
oh, gotcha.
Well, because I was